I want to congratulate my honourable friend, the member for Jarrow, for securing today's very important debate. Royal Mail is a proud British institution established by King Henry VIII in 1516. So I want to begin by thanking postal workers in Luton and across the UK for their work all year round. I'm pleased to have the delivery office in my constituency of Luton South. I've visited it many times, spoken with postal workers and their local and regional communications workers union representatives, and I've seen firsthand their dedication to delivering, literally and metaphorically, for our community. Postal workers take huge pride in their jobs and want to ensure the long-term success of the service. Strike action is never taken lightly, but the substantial real terms pay cuts and attacks on terms and conditions of employment give workers little choice but to stand up for their livelihoods. Alongside these legitimate grievances, there's the threat to the universal service obligation, the obligation to adopt a one-price-goes-anywhere principle of affordable postal services, requiring Royal Mail to deliver letters to every address in the UK 6 days a week at a uniform price and parcels 5 days a week, as set out in the minimum service requirements enshrined in law under the Postal Services Act 2011. As we've heard, in May 2022, the Royal Mail Group, albeit now International Distribution Services, announced record-breaking profits for 2021 of £758 million, and then promptly paid £567 million to its shareholders. And then despite this, weeks after, Royal Mail announced significant losses, alleging they were losing over £1 million a day. This led to the concerning approach to government to request a reduction of the universal service obligation from a 6-day-a-week letter delivery obligation to a 5-day-a-week, Monday to Friday only obligation. So it's clear there are serious questions about what's going on at Royal Mail, as shareholders are given huge dividends, yet soon after, up to 10,000 postal workers' jobs and the 6-day-a-week delivery service are at risk. It just doesn't stack up. Now we have the prospect of a takeover of Royal Mail by Visa Equity, and that's also concerning for the future of the universal service obligation. There's a serious risk that Visa Equity would sell off Royal Mail UK, but retain control of GLS, the international parcel subsidiary, which continues to be profitable and has previously helped cross-subsidise the UK business. Reducing the universal service obligation would be hugely detrimental to the scope and quality of the UK's universal postal service, which is heavily relied on by businesses and consumers. And it would lead to the loss of thousands of permanent Royal Mail jobs around the country, exacerbating regional inequalities. So I want to reiterate the points that have been made this week. I understand the guarantee by the government that the universal service obligation is secure for the future and will continue to be provided by Royal Mail, because people value their local postal workers. Just look at the COVID-19 pandemic. Postal workers put their lives on the line to deliver letters and parcels, as well as provide vital contact for vulnerable residents, many of whom were isolated or lived on their own or elderly. So we must focus on the value of our postal service, particularly in terms of its relationships and its reach across the UK, and not just these costs of individual transactions. This key community contribution must be protected, and I agree with my honourable friend, the Royal Mail must not adopt the gig economy employment model of low wages and insecure contracts. So I ask the Minister whether there needs to be an inquiry into whether the mismanagement of Royal Mail will undermine the postal universal service obligation, and I look forward to hearing his response to the debate. Thank you.